everybody, my name is Lucian. I'm with Aranya44. We are the gaming studio that has put DCF together, and wanted to do an update video for the week. We've made some progress in different areas and are hoping to kind of reach out to some of our friends at the different plugins that we use to maybe see if we can get some help. Well, you're getting a super under beard shot, not super gray. You know, I'm old, so it doesn't matter too much. But anyway, stop calling me Gandalf. Get off my lawn. Anyway, alright, so let me just jump in. So this is the latest compiled version of the DCF 2.0 project, which I'll just quickly go through it. We're starting to break it out into categories, so let's make sure that you're seeing what we're seeing here. Yeah, okay. So we're breaking it out into categories, and so now you have the import system here, or the to-save system is kind of how it's referred to. But basically this allows you to upload a model to Workshop, upload a texture to Workshop, upload a sound to Workshop. And all of those in function work. They need a lot of cleanup right now, but in function they all work now. So you can actually send all three of those things up to Workshop, and then so now the goal becomes, okay, now we have to assemble the play mode on the other side so that you have all the things available in the play mode to be able to pull those models, textures, and sounds into and replace with, right? So that moves into the systems part of the build, which is, you'll notice that this systems is, each button actually has a different font. That's just to show the different fonts that we have loaded into the system. We're planning on adding some more, but we kind of want some feedback on that. So if anybody is kind of interested in the idea of the type of font collection that DCS should have, it's not something that we can insert after the fact. So it is kind of something that we need to have a very broad sense in, because it's not something we can just add the option of putting your own font in, which would be ideal. But Unreal itself isn't really built for that. Anyway, okay, so in that idea of the systems, we have the major systems right now is the AAMS motion system. And that whole demo level works in here. The camera swing on the mouse doesn't work, but everything else works. The climbing and all that fun stuff. Now, I'm still breaking out manually out of this, but let me relaunch it here. Okay, so that was the motion system. Then we have the drive system. That's the car system by Digital Dive. Right now, they just released and we implemented a metahuman system into the system. I'll show you here. Then we have the sail system that came with the oceanology system, and that's basically the boat system. It's very rudimentary, but we'll pop into it really quick, show people that see you got a boat and you can sail it around in this ocean. That's about it. The buoyancy system is in there, and it is transferable, so that's why it's kind of there. Is that the idea of that is literally just the buoyancy. Swimming, we're hoping to have the motion system handle, so it's just a matter of pointing it the right directions in the spots. Then inventory, we reached out to this developer a couple times. We're hoping to see if we can get them to come on a live session like this and help us tweak the inventory. But the inventory will basically wrap the system together. So you'll have this inventory system here, and you'll be able to have a couple different panels. Ours will be a little bit different. Settings for the game will be one of the panels, and then also the escape menu will operate through this as well. So this will be basically the whole inventory system for inside of things. It's set up pretty nicely and pretty open. I think I can bust it apart pretty quickly. But like I say, we are reaching out to the developer of this and hoping to see if we can get their help in kind of rounding everything around the corner with this thing. Looks like they have some other projects too, and they've done some video stuff, so maybe they'll be interested. We're hoping. And then for the build system, originally we had the Easy Build System 10. I now flipped that to the Player Build System V2. The reason for that is I know this system, so I can make this one work already. Where the other one I was learning a lot. So this one I know very well, and so we'll have it up and running in the system very quickly. Also, because I know it very well, I also know how we got to change out these different things. So the material files, which is just a texture file, will be very changeable very quickly. So it'll give you basically unlimited pieces to build with. All right. So let's, with that all in mind, getting this horrible angle of me. I'm sorry about that, but okay. So let's go into DCF. Now this is set up multiplayer. It's also set up to be Steam ready. So this will fire up on Steam, and then but basically this is the actual DCF environment, and you'll see that it right now we're messing with the ocean quite a bit. So that's where that's coming from. And my MetaHuman's going to take a little while to load in. So that's why there's a weird thing. But you can see we have the ocean, the sky is our sky system, we have our admin system in and being kind of finicky. Hold on. Okay, well, yeah, there you go. You can see it's there. We're gonna have to go through a couple little things with it, but yeah, it's all in there and included. So you have that whole ability, and then obviously you can get in the cars, and then you also have the ability to just change your using the GAF system. We're able to change your model out, so you can just do that. So that's how DCF will work. Is the models will actually change out, and in fact, I'm thinking that because of that gas system, I might be able to very easily make it so that you as the player can hit a key and you'll turn into a drone, and you'll be able to terraform as a drone or be able to do that. And you can also see that the landscape of the demo model from the car system is gone, and then I've got the actual voxel landscape. So we're actually under the water right now, so that's why it's all distorted. But find a place I could hike up out of the water. Let's see. Yeah, I don't think there's many right now, not in this current iteration. Oh, there you go. So you can kind of see. But again, this will be a fully controllable environment. You'll be able to do whatever you want in here, save whatever you want. Again, the ground that you're looking at right there on Voxel is just a texture file, so you'll be able to upload a picture of whatever texture you want to use, and then you'll be able to sculpt with that material. I'm sure after a few days of it being live, there'll be lots of different textures already up on Workshop, and there's no borders on that, so you'll be able to pull those textures and use those as well. In your own worlds. So you see that as well. And then, like I say, right now we're working with that inventory system is going to be a big part of what we call the manifest system, which is going to allow what map you're using and what different models you're using on your map and that type of thing. You'll be able to dictate all of that within that system. Then on the architecture side of some things, we have a headless server system now that's completely encodable, and as soon as we get all the multiplayer cross-referencing working correctly, then you'll be able to have a headless player or a headless server running on a system that can use a local LLM to control that headless server. And so we'll get very quick and back feed on the data, and then be able to run that world. So basically, you as a client will jump into the world as a client. So jump in. So like if you were joining a world in DCF now. So anyway, that's kind of the update of what we've got going on right now. Right now, the digital dive guys. Let me pull up that really quick here. So the guys over at Digital Dive recently put out a MetaHumans thing. Let me see if I can find their. It's kind of the roundabout way to go about it, but okay. It's a way I know, dang it. Yeah, so you can see they combine the digital dive advanced car pack with MetaHumans in the gas system, and so that's what I've done now on the back end of it. Anything from the digital dive guys, I have the sport bike, so that's one of the things that's going in. I want to get all the other cars and stuff like that, but budget doesn't allow that right now, so we're just trying to get out what we've got. But basically, yeah, I want to get the sport bike in there, and if you guys have any ideas, I'm always open to ideas from you guys. You guys are great. If you're a developer and you're looking for vehicles, there is no better avenue to go as far as I'm concerned. These cars and bikes are the best that I've seen. And on top of that, dealing with them as a company, as a provider of support and things like that, has been spectacular. They've been really great. Highly recommend Digital Dive. And then we'll go ahead and take a quick pass on Adventure Motion System 2. So the Action Adventure Motion System was what I'd kind of planned on basing everything on. But the Digital Dive guys have gone so head deep into multiplayer and optimizing multiplayer, it was kind of a disservice to the players not to go that route. And so now, but what it kind of probably outside of plan, but advantageously led to, is now the Action Adventure system. Tavesty has come up with some instruction already on how to add this to the gas system, and so I should be able to tie this straight into the gas system, and then all three systems kind of will work in conjunction, and we'll be able to do a lot freer with it inside the DCF context, because we'll be able to flip kind of between all the different systems. But again, the system itself works okay on the demo level, but what we need to do now is mix it with the gas system on the Digital Dive system, so then you'll have a very fluid. And I have to say that I've been playing with the gas system on the car system, and it makes quite a bit of difference in the fluidity of gameplay and motion in gameplay. So this is going to be super cool to add all the basically superpower stuff that Action Adventure adds to it. So it's going to be really cool. DCF out of the gate is going to be a really cool car and racing game, but it's also going to be a really cool parkour game and that kind of platformer type thing where people can build their own platformer type levels, and then people can come along and try their prowess at getting up to the top of the platformer level or whatever, King of the Hill type of stuff. Anyway, I can't wait to see that stuff kind of get implemented into this new system as we go along. But yeah, just props where they're due. So Action Adventure is an awesome system. So if you're a developer and you're looking for really kind of that way to bring in fluid movement, this is the way to do it. And again, the thing that impresses me most about this particular developer is his support. His support channel is pretty active, and there's people always asking him questions that are very outside of the range of the scope of what he should probably answer, but he seems to answer everything very, very eloquently. So anyway, I can't wait to get that all the way implemented through that gas video that he has out, and then we'll go from there. And that's kind of the plan from there. From that point, then we'll start working on bringing in the landscape for the terraforming, so that you can swap out landscapes while you terraform and swap out foliage and rocks and trees and things like that. And then and you'll be able to basically load up whatever you want to put in there. And then for world building wise, and then from once we get to that point, then we can move off into setting a building. So initially, obviously, we want to take that model that you bring into the game and you want to set it in the game. So we're going to make a statue buildable in the building system, and you'll be able to build that and then put your statue right there. And that's where it'll start. And then we'll kind of move into, okay, how do we swap out the walls? How do we swap out this? How do we swap out that? And every part of the game going forward is kind of more of a dissection of bringing those down to a granularity level that we can move on forward with. So anyway, that's kind of the breakdown of where we're at right now. I just wanted to kind of put that out there for a couple of our partners out there and a couple of our friends that are kind of watching our development. Hoping that if you have any ideas or anything, please feel free to comment here. We do have a Discord, and I've been very bad about it in the past, but Crunch is now running the Discord, so you can definitely get through there if you want to go through the Discord. And the update is coming. Like you can see the progress week over week if you look at these live videos. But yeah, it's coming, and so I'm not sure exactly when it'll come out. My guess is sometime in November right now, but that's a guess. So because it feels like we're really close to breaking through on some things, and it's just there's little niddly things that are in the way right now, and I'm going through my normal mental stuff, and so I'm constantly fighting to get more energy to keep going and keep pushing through these last few steps. This is always a very difficult time for me on a project, but we're getting there, and we make solid steps every day, so I think that we'll eventually get to the point where we're releasing this very soon, actually. And once it's released, I think that the 02 and the 03 versions and those types of versions will come out pretty quickly after that. Those will be small things for me. I tend to stress out a lot less on those, yeah, I'm really going to be interested to see what happens with it. Crunch and I are kind of focusing on our next stage is that when 2.0 comes out, we also want to be able to put out a mod kit almost very instantly, basically. So we're starting to look at kind of like how Atlas did their mod kit, how Ark's doing their mod kit, and to see how we can package ours, that we can package ours in the same manner of having an open mod kit, but with our system, because it's so open, you'll be able to really just kind of create whatever gameplay and mechanics and whatever you want to get into on the development side of it is open as well, right? We're trying to make an open platform at every step of the way. So as the player, we want to give you every decision you can have, but then as the modder, we also want to give you every capability that a modder can have. And so that's kind of Crunch and I's next step is to move on to that kind of mod open platform where everybody can develop on it. And then really the development from that stage forward is really a community effort where the best play models will just kind of go on their own. And the environment models will just kind of naturally keep upgrading, right? Because it's all modular. So, and by the way, I did have a discussion with Digital Dive this week about 5.7, and apparently the multiplayer is even more stable on 5.7 than it is on 5.6. So we might have to look at that upgrade when it pops. But it's in preview right now, and I'm not gonna worry about it right now. In theory, because DCF is so modular, yes, we would be able to basically lay 72 hours aside and kind of be back to where we are again right now. As long as all the plugins and everything were updated. But with any engine update, then every plugin needs to be updated along with it, and sometimes they have problems, and so DCF can be a little bit more complicated to jump from engine to engine. But we are definitely looking at it, because multiplayer stability is magic words for me. I really want this thing to be able to run on anything. Anyway, with that in mind, so I'll just cut it there. I know it's kind of a short one this time, and it's, again, not really for entertainment purposes. It's just kind of for history, so that people know how we got to where we got to. When people go, oh, this came out of nowhere, it's like, well, no, it's been here for a minute. We've been working on it for a minute, but yeah, it's that's basically the main reason that I'm doing this update. And again, to reach out to our partners and say, hey, if you see anything and you say, oh, like Travesty, if you like I said, I reached out, we could do a live session like this, we could do a session where just me and you are talking, and you could come in and help me hook my system to the gas system, and then and we can record that, and you can definitely post that on your channel. But again, up to you. Let me know. I'm working on getting that done, and then, like I said, as soon as that is in gas, that unifies a lot of things, and then all of a sudden we take a couple steps forward in a couple different things. And really, once the terraforming is fully baked, I think that we're really looking at, that's when we're going to really start to figure out, okay, that's when the 2.0 update can drop. There's going to be things that are missing or neglected in the 2.0 drop that are a little bit more, like the farming and the power and the survival game mechanics. Those things I'm physically taking out, and I'm going to add them back under the banner of DCF later. But at this point, we need DCF to be the core, and then everything springs from that. So we're getting there, and we'll see when it's all done. So with that in mind, guys, have a good day.